Welcome to the last Monday of August 2011. We look at the record high of 100 degrees set back in 1953 and the record low 37 back in 1965. And on 1965, we can be rest assured that some of our typically colder areas had their first frost. We'll move on and show you what's happening out there right now. Have had a lot of clouds early in the day, but we'll show you that rain has developed and moved just to the east of the area over the last 12 hours. We're now looking at temperatures in the low to mid 70s. The cool spot being Washington was 72, and the warm spot down in New Martinsville is about 76 degrees. Winds, well, they're kind of light, coming in generally out of the northeast, and the speeds at about 6 to 8 miles an hour. As expected, dew points are down, the humidity is low, and it'll slowly rise over the next couple of days, probably reaching its peak later in the week. Here's our satellite and radar view, and you can see a few showers which have developed here along the higher elevations in eastern parts of West Virginia, now into the Shenandoah Valley and the eastern panhandle of West Virginia, and all of that continuing to move. But notice basically from the U.S.-Canadian border, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, down into Kentucky, it's mostly clear. And we're expecting to see brighter skies over the next 2 days with some warmer temperatures. Now, speaking of hot stuff, I just heard this morning that Houston, Texas tied their all-time record high over the weekend with a high of 109. It looks like some of the heat has slid a little bit further to the south, and places like along the Rio Grande River from El Paso down to Brownsville, very hot. No doubt there'll be some spots there between Dallas and Brownsville up there, just downslope from those higher elevations there that will report temperatures in the low 100s. And you can see mostly the northern part of the U.S. looking pretty good, and it's kind of cooled off quite a bit. We'll move on to the humidity levels, and you can see very low, no green over the Great Lakes, over the Ohio Valley, even parts of the Mississippi Valley not feeling much in terms of humidity. It is kind of high in the Great Plains, but you know, that's not too bad for this time of the year. Still got problems along the Missouri River. This has been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. We still have heat advisories along the Red River there between Oklahoma and Texas. And notice how the heat advisories have slid a little bit further to the south. Houston's been under a heat advisory for quite some time now, as you probably know. And then we have the remnant of what's left of what happened to Irene. Irene is long gone, but there were some spots up in New Hampshire and Vermont that got up to about 7.5 inches of rain. And you say, well, that's a lot of rain, and yes, that's going to cause problems. And yes, we do have flash floods, flood advisories of one sort or another from Delaware up through Jersey, eastern parts of Pennsylvania, eastern New York, and interior locations of New England. But this is nothing like Floyd back in 1999, which dumped up to 19 inches of rain. This one about 7.5, 8 maybe. 19 inches of rain down here in Wilmington, North Carolina back in 1999. Nothing compared to Camille back in 1969 in August. It came up and then dumped over 2 feet. I think it was 33 inches of rain in parts of Virginia, and Nelson and Augusta counties and places like that. Albemarle County as well. You can see these showers are moving on now. It's associated with an upper level disturbance. Things are getting developed here, but we've got a weak bubble of high pressure that's going to come in for the next 2 days. We'll move on to predictor, and boom, there's that little H representing the weak bubble of high pressure, which kind of hangs over the area. By late tomorrow, it's still close enough to keep our skies to suppress any convection. We'll just have a few shallow, puffy white clouds, but that's probably about it. That eventually moves out to sea, and we get a developing low, which moves along the U.S.-Canadian border. Looks like it could be dry, but eventually, as we get into Thursday, look at that guy racing in there, trying to play a role in all this. As we eventually get in there, we get high pressure building here. And as we step into September, looks like the first 3 days of September will feature above average temperatures with the highs possibly into the mid-80s. That'll be 3 days in a row with highs in the mid-80s. And don't be surprised if it turns out to be the last 3-day spell this year with the highs in the mid-80s. Time will tell, but we're stepping into September, and it looks like some cooler Canadian air is going to start moving into the area. There we are late Saturday, still looking like showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and then eventually that cooler air mass is going to come in. So we'll give you the above highs in the mid-80s there for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of September. And we'll throw some showers at you maybe late Thursday into early Friday, and then late Saturday into late Sunday. But notice how the high, Sunday 78, Monday 72. And the Climate Prediction Center is giving us cooler than average conditions for the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day. Well, shoot, if you go 14 days, you're already up to about 9/11. And the odds in getting a 90-degree day after the 11th of September is pretty slim, even though we did do it last year once.